Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we are going to learn about the string, which is very important part of the Python programming. So first of all, what is a string? So a string is a sequence of characters, and the characters are simply a symbol. That is, we have the 26 characters in the English language. So these are the characters, which is ABCD. All of these are the characters, and the combination of that characters is a string. So when I say ABCD, this is the string, but normally we put a string inside this quotation. So if I say ABC inside this double quote, this is your string, which is your first string. So a string is only the sequence of characters which will give you some meaning. So if you say your name, then that is also your string, because it is also the combination of characters. So we normally call the combination or sequence of characters as a string. So let's see how to create the string and store them into the variables. So if I say my string, because we don't need to just specify the types in this Python programming, it is done dynamically by the Python interpreter. So if I say hello, and if I just create this string, and if I just want to print this, which is your my string, it is going to give us the same string over here. So a string can be created with the double quote, and it can be also created with the single quote. And if you see here, let me create a new string with the same name, but in this case I'll use triple but a single quote over here. And if I just close this with the same quote, if you do in this way, then this is going to work. But if you just remove one quote, and if you see over here, we have 3 opening quotes and only the 2 closing quotes, it is not going to work. So it is not going to work. In this case, you have to put 3 closing quote, and then you have now created your string, which is hello string. You can also give the triple quotes if you have to make a multi-line statements or multi-line string. So if I say my string, and if I want to create the multi-line string, then I can say that hello, and I can say welcome to, let's make this multi-line by going down, and if I say welcome to the programming world, and if I just close with these triple quotes, then if I just hit enter, you'll see that we have just extended our string. So it should be capital S, and now you can see we have the /n, which means we are in the new line, and this is our string. The whole lot of string was created by these triple quotes, which is used to extend the multiple lines. In this case, you can just go down and do multiple lines. So this is also one type of commenting, which we just did in the previous lectures, how to comment with the multiple line, because the single line commenting is with this hash. If you want the multi-line comment, it should be done with these triple quotes. So next is we'll see how to assess the characters in the string. So let's make a string, and let's see how we can just assess each of these characters from the string. So let me say str is my string. So instead of str, I'll just make a new let me say name, and if I say Python is the name, and if I hit enter, and now if you want to just see or fetch the item from this string, you can do from the index. So you can see here in the Python, p is at position 0, y is at index 1, t is at 2, and similarly 1 increment at a time. So if I want the character that is y, then I have to give name first and give the square bracket, and inside that square bracket you have to put the index. So p is at index 0, that means if you want y, you should put 1 over here, and if I hit enter, you are going to get y. So you have to just assess through this indexing technique, and just remember that in the string and in the list, the index starts always from 0, it is not from 1. Just remember that. If you want to get this n, you can do simply something from 0, count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I just say name, okay, if I say here name, and 5, you are going to get the n. But you can also do in the another wise, that is the negative indexing, which is -1. So -1 is at n, so n is at index -1 and the 5. If I hit enter, you are going to get n. If you want this negative indexing from maybe t, if you want t with the negative indexing, you have to count from -1 and decrement in the each of these characters. So n is at -1, o is at -2, -3, -4. So if you just pass -4, you are going to get t. So this is the way to just get or fetch the characters from the string. You can also slice the string. So if I say something like name, and if you want to just fetch the element from y to t, then you have to count the index first, because p is at 0th index, y is at 1, 2, 3. So if I say 1, 2, 4, because this position which is at there is exclusion position. So if I hit enter, you are going to get yth. But if I say name and 1, 2, 3, so if I say 1, 2, 3, you are not going to get h, because although t or h is at position 3, but this is exclusion position. That means it will count from 1 and go till 3, or basically till 2. So it will print from 1 to 2, but not, it will just include only 2 but not 3. It will just exclude this position. So this position is exclusion position. So you have to include the index that is bigger than that the character you want to include. So if you want to include from y to t, that means you have to include the index of 0th or o here. If you want to index to be included of o, then include the index of the n over here. So if you want to do something like from s to n, then you have to do something like, first of all, count. So p is at 0th, 1, 2, 3. So inclusion position will be 3 and exclusion will be till the last. So last, if it is till the last, you don't need to give any index. If I hit enter, you will get HON. So just remember that we can just slice this string, and we'll learn about this in the more detail in the list lectures, which is very important to learn about, because in the list also we can just get this idea of a slicing and taking part of the list. So string can also offer the same idea of slicing the string, that is getting some part of the string. So next thing what you can do here in the string is to delete the string. So first of all, before deleting, let me just close this one and open the new terminal. And here, first of all, let's see how we can just assign something to the string or not. So if I say my string, and now if I say that it is a string, and if I want to assign something to the string, so if I do something like in the position 5th position, I want to assign value a. So if you count the position, that is 5th, 0th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that means it should include over here before g, but it is not valid in the case of string. So string object does not support item assignment. So just remember that strings are immutable. That means the element of a string cannot be assigned. So you cannot do this in the case of a string, but you can do this in the case of the list or any other data structures. But in the case of a string, this is not valid. So next thing is we can also delete the string. So let's see how we can delete the string or not. So if I say delete with this del command, and my string, okay, it should be my string, and if I want to delete only first character, which is basically the t, because the index start from 0th, then this is also not valid. If I hit enter, string object does not support item deletion. So item deletion or a character deletion of the string is not valid, but it will be valid in the case of any other data structure like list or a dictionary. But in the case of the string, this is not valid. All you need to do is completely delete all the string. So that should be done like this. My string, if I hit enter, now if you just check the my string, it is not there. It is not defined because it has been deleted completely. So next thing in the list is the concatenation technique in the list. So let's see how we can just concatenate the string. So if I make two string, hello first string. Let me make a string 2, that is Python. And if you want to concatenate this, you have to do something like, first of all, take this string, what is str1, and add this with str2. If you do this, you are going to concatenate this string. You can also do something like a multiplication of a string. So if you want to get the multiple hello, you can do something like str1 multiplied by 3 times. So this arithmetic operation is valid in the case of a string. You can multiply your element, you can also do addition, which is basically a concatenation between the string, and you can do this type of operation in the string. So let's see some of the operations or some of the inbuilt method of a string now. Let me close one more time, and here let's see some of the inbuilt function of the string. So first of all, I'll just make a simple string, and in this string I'll say happy birthday. So let's change this string or manipulate this string by inbuilt function of the Python. So first of all, we'll see the capitalize function. So let's see how this works. So I'll say capitalize. Just make sure you just enter this function. So when I just hit enter, you can see that with this function only the first letter will be capitalized and all the letter will be in the lowercase. So this is the capitalize function. And if I check again, that is the my string, it will be unchanged. You can see this is the same string which is just created, but we change with the capitalize, but it is not happening anything over here. This changes has not been reflected to the original string because strings are immutable, they cannot be changed. Basically this function, if you want to make change, you have to assign it like this. If I say my string, and now I have to call inbuilt method in this string with capitalize. If you do this, now you can see that your string will be changed to this capitalize. Just remember that. So next function we can see is the lower function. If I say lower, this is going to convert all of these characters into the lowercase. Next one, it would be obviously the upper one. If we say the upper, this is going to change whole lot of characters into the uppercase, and this is the way to just see if we can just convert to the uppercase and lowercase. Let's see some other functions. So let's say that abc is a string, and let's call is lower method over here. And if you do this, then obviously this character are in the lowercase, that means it will just return us a true. You can also do similar to this, is this upper, and it is also going to give us a true because that is in the uppercase. So next thing is to strip. So if you want to strip the spaces, so if I do space some spaces and abc and some spaces, and if you want to strip these blank spaces, you can simply call this strip method, and you will get that that is the characters of the string without the blank spaces. So this is the handy method, which is the split strip method, not split. So this is important method. You can also see the find method. You can also check for the count method. So if I say something like, okay, a b c d e f, and if I just find some characters, maybe c, and if I hit enter, it is going to give us a 2, the position. You can also see the index method. So these are the some of the methods. You can also see the len method, which is going to take any object. So if I do this, then you are going to get the length of the string object over here, which is passed with the 3 characters. So these are the some methods which are quite handy in the case of the string. We have covered a lot of things in the string part. So in the upcoming lecture, we'll learn about more complex data structures, and we'll just see some of the examples, real world examples. So see you in the next one.